What's up, guys? It's Trevor here. Everyone wants to become a millionaire, but there's some industries that are more favorable and more attainable to becoming a millionaire in. And in this video, we've been talking about the 7 industries that are most likely going to make you a millionaire in the future. Now, before we jump into these industries, what makes a good industry to begin with? Now, this part is subjective, but I do want to lay out some foundations before I went into picking these industries. One is going to be longevity. Is this here to stay? Is it growing year over year? Does it have high income potential? And does it have potential to change the world? So all these criteria do play into a role, and all these industries fit these criteria. So any of these industries are most likely going to create many billionaires, including yourself, if you are focused and discover something new, provide a different solution to that specific industry. All right, so let's get started. So number 1 on this list is going to be e-commerce. Now, this is personally one of my favorite industries because this is the industry that I'm currently in. Besides talking about YouTube videos, personal finance, and all that, my main business is still e-commerce. YouTube does not make me enough for me to just create videos. I wish it did. That would be an excellent and very fun job. But right now, it basically makes pennies every single day. But hey, everyone starts there. So e-commerce is growing exponentially. If we look at the e-commerce growth year over year, it is growing at a rapid pace. Now, with COVID and what happened in 2020, that exponentially grew e-commerce sales. However, now it has stabilized just a little bit, but however, e-commerce is here to stay. People shopping online is not going to be the past. It is going to only evolve on e-commerce, meaning things are going to be online. People are going to be able to purchase anything online at some point and get things delivered right to their house. Amazon, one of the largest e-commerce businesses in the world, makes up 50% of e-commerce sales, meaning every 100 e-commerce transactions that people make online, half of that on average goes to Amazon.com, which is absolutely insane. Meaning that even these other mega sites that you know of, like Wayfair, House, other big name brands, they even have a smaller part of the pie, and they're still a multi-billion-dollar company. I don't know the exact figure, but Wayfair, I believe, is a multi-billion-dollar company. They're on the stock exchange, so they're definitely very big, but just not as big as Amazon. E-commerce is not a trend. It is something here to stay, and it's only going to evolve based on what I'm seeing in the current world. Shopping online, there's still people obviously that only use cash, and I believe they're a bit behind, no offense, but e-commerce is more and more people are going to adopt it and be able to buy anything online and get it delivered right to their house. All right, so number 2 on this list is going to be tech. Tech has made the most millionaires out of all of these industries. If we're talking about startups, however, tech is always going to be around because tech is what improves our life. This microphone, this camera, this computer, all technology. I wouldn't be able to make this video. I could, but it would just take way too much hassle trying to record this video on a film camera. I don't even know if it can shoot video actually. So technology has evolved a long ways, and it will continue to evolve in the next decade and 100 years. So with that being said, tech is something that is going to create more and more millionaires, but you have to stand out inside the industry. There's so many tech startups out there, and you just need to create some way to differentiate yourself if you're going for the top 10 list of the biggest and most valuable tech companies in the world. Not only that, tech can be applied in any single niche. So if we're going to talk about e-commerce, tech can be also applied to that with POS systems, which is a system where you can transact sales in person, like at a retail store. That is technology at play. We have tech in retail stores where their entire menu being online or like on some sort of tablet. That's all tech, and tech can be incorporated in every single area of our life. This YouTube video, everything is just evolved around tech. So tech has the big exponential growth to reach a ton of people. All right, so number 3 on this list is going to be real estate. Now, personally, this is one of my favorites if I'm not talking about e-commerce. real estate is one of the oldest sources of wealth building is because it has been around so long. It's just predictable, sustainable, and a great investment for many people. Real estate, no matter what way you tackle and get into the real estate game, there's many ways to make money with real estate. You can be an agent, you can wholesale, you can invest, and with investing there's many other ways you can actually add a cash flow and build your net worth. If we're just talking about basic buy and hold strategies with real estate investing, and real estate is going to create the most, if we're talking about non-startups, real estate alone has created the most amount of millionaires. And real estate just had the predictability, the history behind it of the people buying and holding real estate. Now, number 4 on this list is going to be health. Health is wealth. Yes, you heard that so many times, but health is an industry that is only going to evolve because everyone wants to live longer. Everyone wants treatments to diseases, sicknesses, and all that. Obviously, we would love to cure every single sickness and everyone just never be sick again. That would be absolutely ideal, but we are going in that direction over time, but it's just not going to happen in the next 10, 15, 100 years even. It's going to take a very, very long time. And I don't believe we can even cure all sicknesses because there's more and more sicknesses based on the solutions that we provide to our current sicknesses. So with that being said, health is something that is also very, very lucrative, and in a capitalist economy, health is kind of often taken advantage of. So that is one downside, in my opinion, of a capitalist economy with health. Healthcare costs a whole ton of money. I'm not sure, and I'm sure you know that if you just visited the hospital or doctor and all that without insurance, it is basically impossible for the average person to pay for. And this is why so many people actually fly out of the country. They actually save a ton more adding on the flight costs plus visiting a doctor in another country. So there you go. The American health system is just ridiculous at this point, but that's another story for another day. All right, so number 5 in the 5th industry on this list is going to be education. Now, you may wonder, what does this entail? Is this college education? Well, kind of yes or no. Over the past years, I've noticed more and more people go away from the traditional college direction. Now, personally, myself, I'm pursuing college on the side as a backup. I personally believe that if I can manage college plus business plus something else on the side, then I'll be in the perfect condition, because I'm doing all 3. I'm taking all paths possible, and if one goes wrong, I have the others to rely on. Step B in entrepreneurship is often frowned upon, but I believe it's something definitely you need to consider. So education, where are we going with this? So education mainly entails online courses, programs. With the huge spike in Udemy and Skillshare members, this means that more and more people are realizing that you can learn anything online in a more focused way. With a traditional college education, you have to take other classes along with your selection of the career that you want to pursue. So for example, I'm pursuing software engineering, and with that I have to take a bunch of other courses like history, English, liberal arts, and all that BS. But it is what it is. And I believe a lot of people are now realizing that college education is kind of flawed, ridiculously expensive, and more companies are not relying on that and more based on your skills. Currently, I would still say it is quite important because more companies currently are still looking at that college education. If you want to get into a big tech company, they still require some sort of bachelor's degree. For example, if you want to get a job at Google, they require a 4-year bachelor's degree with computer science, and that's really the path that I'm pursuing on the side. So education on this list is very, very important, and education is something that can create a ton of wealth for somebody, because everyone wants to learn, everyone wants to discover new things, learn new skill, and use those skills to help others or generate more income for themselves. So education is something on this list as number 5. Okay, number 6 on this list is going to be renewable energy. Now, renewable energy, when I first say that, you may think of something specifically. And if you're thinking of Tesla, then you're thinking exactly what I'm thinking. Tesla has become the #1 most valuable US car company, and what that means is that they have overtaken Ford, which has been around for 100 plus years already, and Tesla is relatively a new company. They have been around for a while, but not as long as the old car brands like Ford. With that being said, renewable energy is something that we're headed towards. And even though you may like fossil fuel cars because they make sounds and all that, and I do it as well, renewable energy and electric cars are definitely the future. And with that being said, there's not really too much explanation on this. Renewable energy is going to be very important for the next rest of the world until we discover something else that we can, maybe produce energy instantly or something crazy like that. But for now, renewable energy is going to be important because we need that energy in order to survive basically as a society. All right, so number 7 on this list is not something too specific, but I do want to put it on here anyways, which is going to be financial services. Now, banking, digital currency, and currency in general is voted 35.7% in the World Wealth Report of the industry that will create the most millionaires. And I do kind of agree with this because personally I love talking about personal finance and finance services. What does that really entail? That entails banking, financing, cryptocurrency, and how we transact money. This is going to be very important because this impacts everybody. Money is basically the default currency where we exchange money for time and time for money, and vice versa. With that being said, financial services is going to be very important in how the world evolves, goes away from the traditional paper dollar and cash and evolves into something digital. At least that's what I believe. With that being said, I'm not too knowledgeable on financial services or other types of financial services that I can really cover, but this is on the list because it was voted the highest percentage of the most millionaires in the next decade or so. All right, so you made it to the very end of this video. What can you take away from all these industries? If you're in an industry not on this list, this doesn't mean that you should switch right away to one of these, but you may want to consider, adding that industry to your portfolio somehow. Now, if you're not in any of these industries, you're not in any industry at all, maybe consider these because these are going to be the most proficient, efficient way for you to become a millionaire and beyond with using these industries in your career path. Take this information in. Of course, it's not financial advice, and choosing a industry that will be most beneficial to build wealth for you. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you check out these 2 other videos about personal finance and investing, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.